Welcome, listeners. You are here with your host, Budget Pedal Chap. This is Fret Talk, episode number 32. 32. welcome your host, Matt Quine.
Good evening. I apologise about the sound quality.
straight off the bat, yeah. We've had some technical issues. We were supposed to start about an hour ago, and we've just been trying to crack through these technical issues. But yeah, technical issues aside, this is going to be an absolutely wicked cast. So Matt, how are you? What's going on? You all right?
Yeah, all good. I had a bit of a fairly quiet week. I've got a lot. I'm only doing 10 songs in this acoustic set that I keep mentioning on and off, but I'm not an acoustic player. I've never ever played more than one song with somebody together, so trying to gel two people together playing acoustic, mostly both playing rhythm, is a little bit weird, especially when you're not playing with a drummer, just you two, you're keeping your own time, and I'm going to have to sing, and that scares me.
Oh, right, nice.
So I'm fine singing on my own. I'm fine singing to an open mic when there's like 7 people there. Singing to 250 to 500 people, depending on whether the ticket sales are there. A little bit different, especially when I've not got a loud, raucous band behind me.
Yeah, I can attest. It is easier when you've got a nice band behind you. When it's acoustic, I did an acoustic gig once. When I was very, very young. I'd been playing like 2 years at this point. But I was the only person at the acoustic gig who was allowed to use an electric guitar. I managed to convince them that no, I need it. I'm not playing acoustic. So yeah, like I have all of the kudos in the world for you, Matt. I am not brave enough to, like, even now, never been playing. I don't even know how many years, but it's definitely more than I have fingers to count them. And I still wouldn't do an acoustic gig, so hats off to you, man.
Yeah, so basically I've been trying to do between an hour and 2 hours acoustic practice a night, with at least an hour of singing in there, just to try and train myself back into it.
Nice.
I'm not a fantastic singer. There are certain songs that are sort of in my range and that I can do, and there are 97% of other songs that are nowhere near my range and that I can't. I've got a really weird voice. I did have a couple of vocal lessons, and I've got like a very low register.
Yeah.
Nothing in the middle, and then a bit of falsetto at the top.
Oh, I am exactly the same, mate. I'm exactly the same.
Yeah, it's so hard to find songs because they either go into that middle register that just doesn't exist for me, or they're all in that middle register that doesn't exist for me.
I have a very similar quandary when it comes to singing, because I'll be able to do like 80% of a song, but then like the high bits will go into that middle bit of my range that doesn't exist. With me, the middle bit is where my falsetto kicks in, but it's like the low end of my falsetto, and the low end of my falsetto is really quiet in comparison to my singing voice, so it becomes useless. Yeah, I'll be like belting out la 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 la, and then so it's it's not good. It's not good.
The worst bit for me is my falsetto starts about an octave above where my normal bit is missing, so it's just completely can't do about an octave's worth of notes. They're not there.
Damn.
Apparently, if I trained myself for a long time, I could probably get them, but like it physically sound stops coming out of me, and I don't know how to make it start.
Yeah, for me, if I'm trying to push my voice into that bit where my falsetto is quiet, it will crack and it sounds absolutely horrible. It's like it sounds whiny and just horrible, and it's either out of tune or just screechy. So I have to be very careful in that part. I have, however, found that if a song is in B or B flat, I will be able to sing it usually.
Yes, B flat is my favourite key.
Yeah, it's a magic key for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same. So yeah, that's basically most of my time. The other things that I've been doing is planning what I want to do with one of my guitars. So I've got an old Epiphone SG.
Yeah.
Unused. It's probably been out of its case 3 times in the last 4 years. Just doesn't get any use. There's no value in it because it was one of the old bolt-ons. Was it?
Yeah, the 310, I think it was the
310. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but anyway, it's an old bolt-on one.
Yeah.
And the original Epiphone neck, the headstock snapped by the person who had it prior to me. So when I got it, it was basically the headstock was held on by paint, and I got it for like 50, 60 quid. So I knew it was the condition it was in. Realised that it was basically unsalvageable the way it was, and there wasn't any worth to it. So I bought a neck off, or my dad bought a neck off eBay.
Yeah. With
Signature Series written on the headstock. I don't know whether that's the name of the people who made it, or whether it was somebody's idea that they thought they were making a signature guitar neck. I don't know. But bolted that on, and it's a fairly good neck. It plays all right. We managed to get a decent action on it, but it's just not the same as any of my other guitars. Obviously, the pickups in a low-end Epiphone, not the greatest quality in the world. Doesn't tell you to go and pick it back up again. So I want to rip the hardware out and make it so that I want to play it again.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And my plan is to make it by SG. So I like humbucker guitars, but obviously I've got the Les Paul on the way.
Yeah.
So the plan is to get a Fletchtron in the bridge.
Okay.
So I'm going to go for, and I'm going to get the Hyperfletch, which is the highest output one.
Yeah.
And then in the neck, I want to stick a humbucker size P90.
Oh, this is it's exciting, man. This is.
And I just want to kind of make it like a hot Telecaster kind of.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I know not really Tele in this proper sense of the word, but the Fletchtron is obviously based on the Filtertron style pickups that are in my Cabrita.
Yeah.
The lower output ones are very twang with bang. They kind of, if you're in a Telecaster style guitar, you get hot teletones.
Yeah.
I know they're a little bit different, but I just want to see if a Hyperfletch would be that turned up to 11, which sounds pretty good to me. It probably be slightly different sounds. Probably the full-size humbucker version will bring out a bit more mids than is in the normal one.
Yeah.
But I've talked myself into this as what I want.
Yeah.
And then I just want something that's not what I normally play in the neck. I don't have anything that's got P90s in it. And it's routed for the full-size humbucker. I can't be bothered trying to find a scratch plate for a guitar that has... It's a bigger one of the scratch plates, and I don't know whether the Epiphones are a different shape or anything.
Yeah.
Rather than just getting a normal P90, I might as well just use the same scratch plate and get a full-size humbucker-size P90 to throw in there and see how that sounds.
Yeah. I mean, I am pretty sure that I've played one of the Fletchtron pickups, and I've never played a bad Fletcher pickup, so you pretty much guaranteed quality there. I remember them sounding a bit single coil flavored, but there's like an open, airy quality to them as well. But I can attest that the P90 size, the humbucker size P90s are fantastic by Fletcher. I've got one in the telly myself, and yeah, it's good. It's really good. Yeah, he's a man who knows how to make pickups pretty much. I was playing the Holy Grail set that I've named them, the blend set, which are now on his website. So I mean, although we're not corporate sponsored by anyone, I would like to give a shout out to Fletcher Pickups. So it's fletcherpickups.co.uk, I think. Go there, look for. I think it's probably going to be in the rest section of his website, because he does humbuckers, Strat single coils, Tele single coils, and then there's a section called the rest, and I think it'll be in there. It's a pickup that uses a blend of wire. I was playing them today because I'm doing a little demo for his website, and they blow me away every goddamn time. So much so that my Gibson Les Paul, which currently has got a set of DiMarzio pickups in it, when I can gather enough money to do so, I will be putting a set of those in. They are that good.
That's some kudos for them.
Yeah. He's also got a set of humbucker-sized wide-range humbuckers that I've got on me at the moment to do, again, a sound demo for. And although they aren't my usual kind of sound, I was really enjoying them today as well. They was really, really good.
Yeah, you mentioned them. Was it last week's cast or the week before? You said they made you want to play fingerstyle. Yeah.
I put some drive through them this week, and I didn't want to play fingerstyle then. But yeah, they've almost got an acoustic quality to them, but they're a bit hotter than the blend of wires, the Holy Grail set. But they sounded great. So yeah, go over to the website and have a listen to it. I do apologise for my shoddy playing on it, because I had very limited time, but the pickups speak for themselves. But yeah. So what was talking about your SG, which sounds awesome, turned into a little advertisement there.
Aye.
Yeah, if you're listening, Mr. Fletcher, feel free to kind of sponsor us if you want. So yeah, I mean, I've done quite a lot this week, which I feel we're probably going to be talking about a fair amount of this podcast for. So kind of strap yourself in, listeners. First of all, and most importantly, the thing that has it's hurt me deeply and emotionally. This has something bad happened this week. I was getting my guitar out the back of my car at the end of last week, and it fell out. And it, from what I recall, it didn't sound like it was too bad. But then I come to plug my guitar in this week. My number one, my Telecaster, it's a LTD TE212. It's my go-to. If you check any of my stuff, you'll see it. And it's got its first battle wound. It's got a ding on it. I completely fucked the jack on it because it fell directly onto the jack. So
not a good place for it to fall.
No. I mean, it would have been worse if it would have fallen on like a corner of the guitar and pulled a bigger chip out of it, because I can replace the jack, which is going to be on my list of things to do very shortly. The jack still works, but it's dented, so it means that pushing a guitar jack lead into it is a bit of a tight squeeze. Oi, oi.
You like a bit of a tight squeeze, don't you?
Well, Not so much because I'm going to have to replace the jack, but it's fun while it lasts. So yeah, I did that. But then, like 2 or 3 days later, Mr. Ollie, I've got to be one better. He comes in. He's shared an even bigger ding on his Telecaster. Such a knob trying to upstage me.
But at least yours was natural. I'm pretty sure he's gone at his with a chisel. There's no other way you can take that much wood off the base of a guitar.
I know. We are going to share these battle scars into our podcast group. But yeah, I mean, Ollie, he's upstaged me, so I'm not happy. He probably isn't happy either because his Telecaster's got a ding in it as well. But this is war. This is now Mr. Miles. You can't just come in and ding your Telecaster. So yeah, that's kind of it. It actually did deeply upset me because I've had it for about four or so years and I've managed to keep it pristine. But hey ho. There was talk in the group of people saying, well, now you might as well get it stripped back and completely refinished. So that might have to happen.
Just don't do what I did with that other telly and take it all apart and then realise you've got nowhere to refinish it. Still sat over there. My body is about 2 foot away from me and it's still the colour it was when I took all the guitar.
You've not even painted it. Oh my god, man. That.
I haven't even stripped the paint away to get it ready for repainting yet.
Oh man, that's bad. That is bad. To be honest, I wouldn't strip it. I'd just paint over the top because then you might eventually get that colour on colour relic kind of thing, and then it'll be worth millions because Fender, for some reason, charge a hell of a lot for that.
As long as you don't do it like the Sur ones where it looks like a bloody sticker over the top.
Yeah, the less said about that, the better, isn't it? Anyway, so kind of a lot of what I've got to talk about this week is based around the fact that I did a show this week. It was a little charity thing, so it was kind of a little bit of fun. Not with my band, but with a group of musicians that I know. And the first thing that I want to mention is that I went to the gig. I didn't have a lot of time to get there, so I kind of relied on the backline that was there. And there was a Black Star ID core, a relatively small one, I think, maybe like a 60 or something. I don't know. I don't know the ID core range too well. But my God, it sounded good. So the ID core, I tried the ID. I can't remember which one, but it's got the TVP. I think they call it the True Valve Power or something like that, which is horribly cringeworthy, but it actually sounds really good. And I tried one of those in a guitar shop a couple of years back, and it sounded great. But I actually got to try this ID core like in a kind of gigging environment. And I plugged in my pedal board into it, so I weren't using the drive channel, but the clean channel, it was almost good enough. Almost. And I stress that it's almost. That I, for a brief moment, considered that this could be an alternative to going Valve amp. So,
Heresy.
I knew this would be an instant backlash, and it's deserved.
Blasphemy. Wash your mouth out with soap, sir.
I know. I felt dirty. I was marched through a set of streets with a bell behind me, shouting "shame, shame." No, it was a great. Honestly, it was a great sound. I reckon if I didn't know it was the ID core and if I'd just let someone plug me into something, I wouldn't have argued that it would have been a Valve amp. It felt great. It sounded great. It took pedals great. And it got me thinking that if the ID core sounds this good, and I've not even tried a Katana yet, and people are absolutely just going bananas for the Katana.
Yeah, it's got twice the following that the ID core has.
Yeah. So, is it the future? Is it the future? I mean, are these like solid state practice amp? I think it's unfair to call it just a practice amp, but are these solid state kind of alternatives? Are they gonna take over? Are we gonna see those instead of Valve amps at gigs?
No, we're not. Well, we might do, but if we do, people are idiots.
Yeah, I completely agree. As much as I did like the sound of it, I'm not going to be selling my Valve amps. In fact, I may very well be procuring another certain Valve amp. So, yeah, I'm not rushing out and buying an ID core nor a Katana.
Good,
so
good.
My brief moment of madness has subsided. One thing that I also got to try at this gig, after it all went down, I got chatting to a guy who I know, and he happens to play one of these modern weird guitars by the name of a Strandberg. So
Yeah.
headless, amorphous blob-looking body, designed with ergonomics in mind rather than aesthetics. So some of the things that kind of struck me, the neck profile is a very very weird one. It had corners. Neck profiles don't have corners.
How is that ergonomic? I don't understand. If you're going for ergonomic,
Yeah.
you go for the shape of the part of your hand the guitar goes in, which doesn't have corners. It's smooth.
It is,
shape.
yeah. I think,
So,
just for the listeners, we both kind of held our hands up and looked at our hands then just to make sure. Do we have corners in our hand? No, we don't. It's kind of like a trapezoidal neck profile, whereas usually, I mean, the most extreme is like a V profile neck, which is still kind of rounded.
yeah.
So it was very, very different. I am going to say that it wasn't unpleasant. It did take a little bit of getting used to, but there's got to be some science behind it, tone science, because they've designed it with like ergonomics in mind and like super speedy playing. So there's got to be a reason for it. It felt alright. I didn't mind it. I'm very much used to traditional neck profiles, so it hasn't won me over yet, but it hasn't put me off, so that was a good sign. The frets, however, I've got here, the frets were on the piss. And for those international listeners, that means that the frets were not put on straight. They are angled. The further you go up the neck, they are angled. So it's supposed to lead to better intonation and just general goodness.
I understand that on a bass because you're only playing single notes if you're a bassist and you're doing bass right.
Yeah.
If you're a guitarist, there are times where you have to play more than one string at once and your hand needs to be in a familiar position. How do you do that when the frets are pointing away from you? So when I'm making a bar chord, my hand is ever so slightly tilted so that the bottom of my hand is closer to me than the top of my hand. I think the bottom of my index finger is slightly close to me, the top of my index finger, just because that's my natural position. I don't know why, because all the other times it's tilted the other way. But with those slanty, fretty thingies, you'd have to lean away from yourself, and it just makes absolutely no logical sense to me.
I think the idea is that you sweep everything. That you don't play chords. You just sweep the entire thing.
So what you're saying is it's not functional as a guitar.
No, I think there are some advantages to it. Like I say, the intonation it sounded fine. Nothing.
Yeah, so does a Telecaster if you set it up right.
I don't know. Those 3 bridge saddles are a pain in the arse. But yeah, it took it. By the time that I ended up giving the guitar back, I still hadn't got used to the frets. But I mean, who knows? Lots of guitars are doing it these days, so maybe there's something in it. I don't know. We'll see. And the guitar was really light, but where you usually get light guitars, because when I think a light guitar, I think an SG, because they're your kind of traditional light guitar, aren't they? The SG, pretty much exclusively suffers from neck dive, where the neck wants to break itself on the floor. Yeah, I know. Who designed that? Whereas the Strandberg almost seemed perfectly weighted, so it just sat wherever you put it. It's a modern thing. I don't think I'm supposed to get it because I'm set in my ways by now. Like I say, I've been playing for more years than I have fingers. So yeah, but I didn't hate it. And that's progress for me. So
yeah, I'll say it's not for me as well. I'm very much I like music that is what I like. I don't particularly like anything that would say have origins in people like Steve Vai or Joe Satriani or any of that kind of what I would call fret wankers.
Isn't that what we call our followers?
You know what I mean?
No, we don't call you fret wankers. Talkers. Yeah, fret talkers. Or fretters. I don't know.
But yeah, I get that technical proficiency is a show of skill, but to me it's not a show of musicality, which we'll get onto a little bit later.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, for me, I want music that is talking to me, not music that is showing me how good you are at the amount of notes you can play in a second, or the way that you can sweep pick 5 million times better than me. That's not what I'm looking for in music.
Yeah, it honestly doesn't take much to be able to sweep pick better than I can. So
if you can do it, you can sweep pick better than I can. So
yeah, if you've practiced the technique, then yeah, you've got my number. But yeah, I know what you mean. If you think of kind of music as a conversation, virtuosic guitar playing is someone just talking at you very, very quickly.
Yeah.
But not really saying anything. Yeah. No, I completely understand. But yeah, in terms of like the instruments themselves, I expected to hate it. I expected to really, really hate it, and I didn't. I ended up playing blues on it because take the man away from the Telecaster. Can't take the Telecaster away from the man. But yeah, it weren't terrible. So yeah, we might have to keep our eyes open for this stuff, and maybe like get out there and try some new instruments. I know the Ibanez AZ series or AZ or Arizona. I am definitely going to be trying one of those when I get the chance, and then very shortly afterwards, I'm going to be giving my debit card to my best friend and telling him to run as far away as he can. Because
he won't do that. He'll just give it back to you and tell you to buy the guitar.
No, he'll be taking it to the till and telling him to wrap it up for me. He's a good influence on my tone, a bad influence on my bank account. But yeah, so the gig that I did, I got up and I was forced to sing a song, and without going into like great detail, before the gig, I was not feeling my usual jolly happy self. I'd gone through a little bit of a hard time that day, and when I went up and performed this song, it ended up being one of the greatest performances I'd ever put on. And this isn't me tooting my own horn here, although it is, but it's not. Loads of people have kind of commented on it since, saying that actually that was like wicked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to butt in here because you shared that somebody has taken a video of the performance and shared it with the guys in the group, and it was, I've got to say, it's absolutely fantastic. I didn't know you had that voice in you. I've never heard you sing before, and your singing was fantastic, but that solo at the end was just absolutely phenomenal, and I hope you're happy enough to share it in the Fret Talk group, because the podcast group, because I think our listeners need to see just what a fantastic musician you are.
Yeah, I may very well do that. I mean, that'll be down to kind of my discretion, I suppose, at this point. I don't know if I can really, because it's tied in with other things that I do. But hey ho, I don't know. I'll have a mull over that one. But yeah, so it kind of got me thinking that to do a really like authentic performance, do you need to have this kind of this inner turmoil going on? Is that what made all of the great performers great? Not trying to toot my own horn and say that that I was great or anything, but like, is this the kind of thing that they're tapping into to get those like magic performances? One thing that I will say though, like after that song, I was completely just drained. It took a lot out of me, and I don't think I could do an entire gig with that kind of strange energy. So if this is something that like good performers tap into, I've got to give it to them, because I think I'd end up in a loony bin if I had to do that every time I wanted to get a good performance.
Yeah, well, you have seen that quite a lot of musicians turn to drugs to try and get them through things, so you might be you might be getting somewhere close to the reasons why they take heroin to try and numb the pain, maybe?
Yeah, I don't think I can afford it,
plausible theory. I'm not suggesting you should start a heroin addict by any stretch of the means. I'm just saying.
You heard it here on Fret Talk first. Mr. Matt Quine has endorsed a heroin addiction.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I need to make sure that nobody from my work ever listens to this podcast.
Yep. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So, Yeah, so kind of moving away from the drug. This is the second week on the trot that we've mentioned shooting up. Oh dear God. Right, yeah. So I did a gig and it was nice. Yeah, live music's great, isn't it? It's good fun to do. But on the other side of it, there is practice. Practice, Matt. You know, that thing that you said you never do.
I never do it properly. I never do it to improve myself, which probably the reason why I'm still nowhere near as good a guitarist as I should be.
I mean, if you can like get through songs without people throwing stuff at you, then you're good enough, ain't you? Anything beyond that is wasted effort.
I'll give you a tip. Rather than picking stuff that's quite hard to play and full of emotion, pick cheesy poppy indie stuff that requires next to no talent, and people love it, and you don't have to work at it.
Nice. Yeah, maybe I've been trying too hard all these years.
Yeah, just pick easy stuff to play that people like to hear.
Yeah, fucking hell. Yeah. Just my entire career, nah, don't bother with that. Right, anyway, I've just spotted the time and we're we're pretty far in, so let's blast this stuff out, okay? You know what? No, we won't bother. We're gonna go. No, we will. Okay, sorry. Yeah, okay. So, this week I have been playing my Line 6 Amplify FX 100, which is the footboard. The reason being because I actually found it again. I think like a couple of podcasts ago, I was just going, it's gone forever. I'll never see it. I found it. It was, of course, the last place you'd look, because why would you carry on looking once you'd found it? But yeah, I've plugged it in a couple of times, and I think I remembered it with rose-tinted glasses a little bit. It wasn't quite as earth-shatteringly good as I remember. But it is absolutely solid practice tool. You can stream your music library through it, so you can play along with the music library, and you set the levels on the pedal itself, so that you can get a really nice balance. When I was using it, I just always kept thinking that this would be an ideal pedal as a starter for beginners. Not only for they'll be able to play through the tracks, but the sounds on it, aside from the drive pedals, which on all multi-effects units, drive pedals tend to be crap. But like the amp sims on it are pretty good. The effects, like the modulation, the reverb, the delays, they all sound like choruses and reverbs and delays, and even down to there's a uni vibe in there somewhere, and that sounds good. Both me and Matt, we were talking before the podcast started, when we were having these technical issues, about the multi-effects units that we had when we were younger, or that we played when we were kind of starting out. And we mentioned a Zoom product, which was I can't even remember what it was called. I think it was like the G2 or something like that. But
no idea, but I know the one you mean. It's that silver one with the two odd-shaped buttons at the front.
Yeah, it was basically there was a tiny little LCD screen in a circle, and there were two really oddly shaped plastic foot pedals. And that unit alone managed to convince me that I hated any kind of modulation. That I would never find a use for tremolo. And even that delay was the work of the devil.
Well, at least that was true.
You shut your mouth. And it's all down to the fact that the presets on these things were just so outlandish. There was no subtlety to them at all, and plus to the fact that the effects themselves weren't very good quality. Like the chorus sounds were not very good chorus sounds. Like if even it's really hard to imagine by today's standards, but like even the worst kind of like £15 Chinese, like a Moon or like Nux or one of those like really weird off-brand Chinese pedals, even their cheapest, worst quality effects sound better than the effects you'd find in these units.
Definitely.
But they used to kind of make up for the fact that they weren't very good sounds. They'd just ramp everything up. So the choruses would always sound like really like washy and just horrible, and the delays would always be really present. So you'd always get like rather than like a kind of subtle ambience in the background. And the tremolo was the thing that managed to convince me that tremolo was the work of the devil. The fact that it was on and off. It was almost like a switch. And there was just no way of using it. There was no musical way of using that. But now I've got like all the individual pedals, mainly kind of TC stuff. I've got a Murch helicopter. And when you set it how it's supposed to be, like with a subtle kind of movement in the sound, it makes sense. But it took me almost 10 years to get over the fact that this pedal had convinced me that tremolo was not very good. But yeah, the Amplify FX footboard, it has got like, I'm not going to say that they're like rivaling, like, for example, like the Phase 90. If you bought a Phase 90 and put it up against what the FX footboard is saying is a Phase 90, it's not going to be spot on. It will be in the ballpark, but it will, like, if you use that, you'll know what a phaser is supposed to sound like. Whereas if you used one of the old Zoom units and it said it was a phaser, you're not even close. Not even close.
If I remember rightly, the phaser in that sounded more like a flanger than the flange did. It was just, they both just sounded like jet engines, and for a long time after having those, I didn't know what the difference between phase and flange was. I thought they were two types of the same effect.
Yeah, that's
how bad those old units were.
Yeah, but we also talked about the Boss units as well. The Boss did the ME25 and the ME50, and that was kind of like the Cadillac of those units, weren't it?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Though better,
yeah,
but not perfect.
No, like I say, the modulations for that were actually useful, but any of the drive on it, like any of the amp sims or the pedal modelers, they sounded terribly digital, and there was no kind of no dynamic range to it. It was all just really kind of heavily compressed, and just it sounded like bad 90s drive. Whereas these Line 6 units, like I say, the Tube Screamer in it is okay, but anything else any of the other drive pedals don't really sound great. But the amp sims, they sound pretty decent. And it's never going to be like a Helix beta or a Kemper beta, because it's not at that price point. It's nowhere near that price point. But it's good enough that when I plug into it, I'm not wanting to instantly unplug from it, I'll happily spend like a good 30 minutes, an hour playing these sounds because they're satisfying enough. So, yeah, I mean, that's my little endorsement for the the Amplify. They do the amps as well, and the amps are pretty much like the footboard. But I think the footboard's a really great unit because it also works as an audio interface. So you can record.
Right, okay.
You can record digitally through it, and I've recorded onto my mobile phone through it as well, which is it's crazy.
But considering they're not much money these days, that's
like I say,
that's a really handy tool for anybody. Kind of, if you haven't got that much cash, or if you want something that's your first kind of foray into any of those kind of markets, it might push you in the direction of using the rest of the features as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I say, I'd fully tout it for beginners who want to get a taste of what all the effects sound like, so that when you do eventually go on to building up your own pedal board, you've got like a shopping list there. You can pretty much zero in. Yes, I want a chorus. Yes, I want a tremolo. Yes, I want this. I want that. Because they're pretty much there. We're going to ignore the Variax, and we're going to go on to. We're going to go straight onto our main segment for this week. Just as a reminder, so you can all prod me on this one. I used the Variax guitar. I've got a Variax standard, and I used that for the gig. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about that next week. However, there is something that riled up our Matthew, something fierce this week, wasn't there, Matt?
Yeah, I came across a poster for Reading and Leeds Festival 2018, and I decided to share it within our group, and my post started, "Music is officially dead." Because
that is a bold statement.
Looking at the lineup of Reading and Leeds Festival 2018, I'll take you through the headliners to start with.
Go for it.
So the headliners are Fall Out Boy, who were far bigger in 2006, but they're a mid to late 2000s band that I don't know whether they've released anything in the last 8 years. We've then got the Kings of Leon, who were better before they got famous. And we've then got a guy called Kendrick Lamar, who is not somebody I am too aware of. I've heard the name before. I assume he's some sort of R&B, hip-hop, maybe grime. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know who he is.
Was he not in Blue?
And was he in Blue?
No, I think that was just Lamar.
Well, that shows you just how much I know about this fella.
Yeah.
But he's co-headlining with Panic at the Disco.
I've heard of those guys too.
Again, that band from the mid-2000s.
Yeah, this sounds like a great lineup from, if it was like about 8 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my first thoughts on it. And then reading through the rest of the entire festival list, on the same night as Fall Out Boy, the only other name I recognise is Annie Mac. And as far as I'm concerned, she's a radio DJ.
Annie Mac. Cool. Yeah.
I believe she's a Radio 1 radio DJ at some point.
Okay.
But the rest of the list is... Wolf Alice I've heard of as well. I missed them. But still, there's nothing in there that looks anything good. We then look at the night that Panic at the Disco and Kendrick Lamar are on, and the names I remember are Sum 41, again, 2006.
Yeah.
I saw them live in 2011. I thought they'd split up, so I've never seen anything that they've done since 2011.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is like the new wave of artists who their their initial wave of money has gone away, and they then start realizing, oh, we could cash in on this and do a little reunion tour.
Well, I'll boost your theory, because the other band on that night I've heard of is Papa Roach. Again.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Papa Roach, but I couldn't tell you anything they've done since about 2008, 2009.
No,
They might have released something.
I hit that their first album, Infest, pretty hard. It was a game changer.
That was an epic album.
It was really good, yeah.
But it was like 15 years ago.
No, don't say that. I'm not that old.
You are that old. In fact, I think it's more than that, because I think Infest is 2002. We should make it 60s.
No, 2002 was probably about 3 years ago, surely. 4 at a push.
I'm afraid we're in 2018, mate. You've lost half your life.
Fuck. Right, yeah, so, yeah. I mean, the point being there that there seems to be
all on this lineup.
Well, there's a weird mismatch of, like, kind of modern, kind of dancey stuff that's kind of in the pop charts, which is kind of EDM meets
that I've never heard of,
like kind of hip hop and grime, which it seems to be quite popular at the moment. Shit, man, just that phrase in and of itself makes me sound older than time. Yeah, so there's a lot of kind of electronic focused music, where it's not focused around instruments, it's focused around like the technology.
I don't understand. When you go to a festival to watch an EDM person, what do you do? Do you just not pay attention to the stage because there's a guy in a PC or a guy in a Mac?
I imagine they just get up and press play, don't they, and then walk off. And
but what does the whole thing about a festival is you pay attention to the stage because something's happening on the stage. What happens on the stage when there's no instrument to play?
Your guess is as good as mine, mate.
There's maybe 2 other bands on the entire festival lineup that I've heard of, and everything else seems to be your modern stuff that's in the charts at the moment. People that, in 5 years' time, you'll look at this Reading and Leeds poster, and you'll have heard of the same amount of bands. And even if you're a follower of modern music, you'll not know who most of those people are in 5 years' time. They'll just disappear off into the ether. Like,
all right, old man.
It's just, and then from that, I said something quite controversial in the group, and I said, not only is this, once I said music is dead, I said, there's nothing out there that speaks to you like music should speak to you.
Yeah.
We're in a current political climate where there are 2 sides at total war. One side is adamantly everything that is happening in the political climate is wonderful and fantastic, and there's another side that is saying what we are doing is absolutely stupid. And that's how punk was born, and there was an entire music genre dedicated to hatred of the way that the political times were.
Yeah.
And what we've got at the moment is bland nothingness from that blonde skinny girl that you don't know the name of that will have died in 5 years' time of a heroin overdose, or she'll be back working in Debenham.
Heroin
and
again.
You've got
straight back to the heroin.
And the other side, you've got rap that is so full of racism and so full of swearing that you can't play the lyrics on the radio. They have to have radio edits where there is no vocals for 15, 20 seconds because it's just full on swearing and use of the N-word, which is just not okay.
Yeah.
It's not about conveying your emotions, whether you, like, my big music love now is the blues and conveying your emotion through the guitar. But I also love the way that Joe Strummer, every single time you watch him sing and shout as a punk artist, he has so much emotion, and you can tell exactly how he felt when he wrote the song and when he was singing that song at that time. And now, every single time you watch an EDM person, everything apart from maybe what they're talking over the top is the same. You don't understand how they're feeling at that time. You don't get a sense of anything other than this was the buttons he pressed in the studio that time. And
I think the themes that kind of run through a lot of the EDM and the grime and the hip. I can't speak so much for grime because I don't really know much about it. But like the hip hop and all of the more modern music that I've heard is about how good the person is who is making the music, how rich they are, and how the parties that they go to are the best parties, and that they have sex with all of the women or men, depending on their preference, or maybe both. I don't care who they fuck, to be honest. But they boast of their sexual conquests, and it's all very vapid. From what I have heard, I don't profess to be a huge connoisseur in any of this type of music because I've switched off to music in the mainstream for a good 20 years.
I mean, not quite 20 years, but I mean, I'm the same. I remember 2016 at Christmas, and they've got the Top of the Pop special. Yeah. And I was round at my nan's house with my mum and my nan and my uncle and my auntie, and
so rock and roll.
It was on, and I looked at it and I watched the hour and 20 minutes, and I think I recognised one song, and I realised then that I am so out of touch with modern music. It's real, but there's a reason for that. It's not that I'm not actively going out and looking to avoid Radio 1 and the modern charts. It's just that I'd probably heard them in the car on the way to work, on the radio stations or whatever, but they don't speak to you. They're bland nothingness because they're not conveying passion or emotion, or they're not trying to speak to you. They're just trying to tell you about themselves, or they're trying to tell you about this particular situation. And there's an article I read by Emily Sandé, the one that did the opening ceremony of the Olympics, the piano song that everyone remembers. I can't remember what the song was called, but she had a big hit, and she was talking about her second album, and she'd recorded this album and then decided not to put it on sale because she wanted to change some of the songs because she thought she could make them more marketable and more sellable. And that to me is not music at that point. What you're doing there is you've said, I've written a song and it spoke, this is how I wanted to portray things. I don't think that's going to sell well, so I'm going to change it for everyone else. I don't want to tell you what I'm feeling anymore. I want to tell you what I think you want to hear. Yeah. And that's the death of it. That's just horrible. I know selling out has always been something that's talked about, but that's selling out to the nth degree. That's just disgust. I don't care what you think I want to hear. I want to hear what you want to tell me.
Yeah, I think that's it's then a business, isn't it? It's rather than an artistic outlet. But there's been complaints about this for years and years and years. Frank Zappa was one who has been on record about saying this, and how he when he was first getting into the business, this is going to be horribly paraphrased, so I do apologise. But like when he first got into the business, it was full of like kind of sleazy, greedy white men. But they would go, okay, the kids are listening to this kind of music. Let's get loads of those artists here and in, so that they can so that we can like make this music. We'll give them a shot. And then as the time went on, they started employing younger people who were kind of hip to the ways of the youth. And the more that happened, the more they'd kind of make safe choices rather than these outlandish, like taking chances on these outlandish people. And he said, like, give me one of those greedy rich white men any day, because they were willing to take a chance. Whereas these guys who think they're kind of cool and with it try and make everything so safe that it just homogenizes music. But yeah, so there's a kind of a feeling of homogeny amongst the Reading and Leeds lineup. I think the fact that we aren't the market for it anymore, and the fact that talking about it makes me feel old, it's a very real kind of issue with this. Like you say, it's part of it is by design. The fact that you're avoiding it because it doesn't speak to you, but part of it is also through the generation that we're no longer part of. We're not the youth anymore, as much as we want to.
And we might not be the youth, but like I said on the post, I am the target demographic for a festival. I am 26 years old. I do not have any children. I do not I don't have a mortgage. I've got a car on finance because I can afford to get a car on finance. I pay rent because I can afford to pay rent. I am the perfect person for somebody to market a
young and disposable income
festival to.
Yeah.
So what they've done is they've picked bands that sort of try and kind of accommodate my style. So like I listened to Fall Out Boy, Sum 41, Panic at the Disco, Kings of Leon back then. I really liked Papa Roach, but they're in the middle of a bill. They're so far down the list that you know that they're getting a half-hour slot. So I'm in their perfect demographic, and they've not catered the festival to anything that approaches me as a music fan.
Yeah.
And I am a massive music fan. Like, I play the guitar. I've grown up listening to music. I grew up around that time of, you know, when these bands were out. There were massive bands, the likes of Killer's early stuff, Arctic Monkeys. I know it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But, you know, there were bands that were massive around then. And what they've done is they've picked a few kind of pop punk bands.
Yeah.
The Kings of Leon, because they remember Sex on Fire.
Yeah. It was a massive hit, like kind of 5 years-ish ago.
You want to try again?
Okay.
10 years ago.
10 years ago. Really? Fucking hell, man.
It was the year that I had my break whilst I was doing my GCSEs, which is 10 years ago this summer. That's when that album was.
Okay, yeah, cool.
So sorry to make you feel old again, but yeah.
Yep, I think
they were.
That is the theme of this podcast, isn't it?
It is. It just and yeah, as you know, if they're going to try and market a festival to my kind of age range, you want to make me feel like I'm 16 again.
Yeah.
But you don't do that by picking 5 random pop punk bands, throw Kings of Leon and the Wombats in there, and then fill the rest with...
Yeah, intersperse it with people who are young enough to be your children.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, I should be the person that they want to drag in, and instead they've kind of aimed it at kids. I understand them not aiming it at people who are sort of in their 40s or 50s or even in their late 30s, because they don't want to go and sit in a field and get pissed. I'd quite happily go and sit in a field and get pissed and not sleep in a tent for 3 days.
Yeah.
Because that sounds like a good fun to me. But instead of being what Reading Festival Reading and Leeds was to me, which is not quite as heavy rock as Download, but still kind of a rock and mainstream indie and pop festival. And I think was it 2011 that Metallica and Rage Against the Machine were two of the headliners, and they were the likes of the Arctic Monkeys and Muse were on the bill. And the bills just looked amazing when I was at the age that the kids that'll love this, love this, not the headliners, but the stuff lower down the bill.
Yeah.
But I couldn't afford to go to a festival at 16. I couldn't afford to go to a festival at 18. I just finished my A-levels.
Yeah, no, I completely understand, yeah.
They maybe will catch 2 or 3 years of people who enjoy this music, and then they'll catch smaller subsets of my generation that, didn't particularly, they were more into rap and, they've got into the grime and stuff. But of my mates, I know, I didn't just share this in the Fret Talk group. I shared it with a group chat that's got 10 lads that I go to the pub with on a semi-regular basis.
Yeah.
And between the 10 of us, I think we came to 14 acts in total that we'd heard of across that 50, 60, whatever's on that list.
Yeah.
And there was nobody who liked more than 4 or 5 acts.
Yeah.
So you're not going to capture any of us. You're not going to get any of us who are all 24 to 27. You're not going to get any of us going.
Yeah.
And we are the target demographic.
Yeah, I mean that's it, isn't it? The people with the disposable income to do anything about it. Mind you, that being said, when I was kind of 16, 17, almost everyone that I knew was going to Download. I don't know how they afforded it, but almost everyone that I knew were doing that festival. So maybe they're onto something with it. Our Mick, bless him, the random swear generator that he is. He mentioned in a passing comment that around 40 odd years ago he went to Reading Festival and he got to meet Thin Lizzy.
Bastard.
I know. Yeah, I'd give many things to have met Thin Lizzy. But I mean, if that was the caliber of the performance back then, and now you're getting kind of 10, 15 year plus headliners.
Yeah.
And then you're getting kind of modern pop artists who, I mean, you're saying like within 5 years we're not going to remember. Then, yeah, I mean, I can't find any enthusiasm for this, but we've got a guy, we've got a couple of guys actually on our Fret Talk group who have been fighting the corner of the festival. One being a rather young member, our friend Jonas, and he's saying like he's like totally excited about this festival. He would happily go and see. I don't know who, because like I say, I barely even remember.
Let's pick Playboy Carti. They sound like a young person's band.
Yeah.
Obviously, Playboy is spelled with an I, not a Y, because they're not stupid and going to spell things right.
No, yeah. I mean, just like Skater Boy by Avril Lavigne was spelled like that, wasn't it?
What a tune that was.
Yeah, I think I'm losing the will to live, to be honest. So, just kind of the final thing to wrap up. That music is dead. A really bold statement. Our good friend Chris Wilson, podcast regular, we are going to have him back on soon. We are. He was kind of hinting towards something. He said that a couple of years ago, Tea in the Park was the one to go to for him. It had loads of like great acts. It was a good kind of couple of days out and whatnot. And then there started being like a fragmentation within the lineup, where it was trying to pull too many demographics in at once, and the headliners didn't match with the supports, and that didn't match with the rest of the day, and it ended up just pulling it so far apart that it no longer runs as a festival. It's disappeared. And he was drawing parallels between that and this Reading and Leeds festival. So yeah, I mean, from what I can see, what I understand from it is that they are trying to pull in the crowd of those 25 to 35 without kids and who have got the disposable income, with those headliners of Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy and Papa Roach and all these kind of retro artists. I don't know what you'd refer to them as. Some kind of, the big headliners of like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But then from the other side, they're pulling it apart with all of these modern artists who both of us are openly admitting we're putting our hands up and saying we don't know who they are.
Massively.
Yeah.
Massively.
So, I mean, is that spelling the end for the Reading festival?
And this is my concern, because this is a festival that's got history. This is a festival that's had hundreds of good, well, maybe not hundreds of good lineups, but certainly it's had consistent good lineups through from, probably, I don't know whether it's the 60s or the 70s it started, but it's certainly, the festival is probably twice as old as I am, if not more.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, it's exactly what happened to Tea in the Park is happening here.
Yeah.
And there's a good chance that a couple of, maybe 3 or 4 like this, where they've got headliners are bands people used to remember rather than bands that are big right now.
Yeah.
A couple more years of headliners like that. Now, I assume Kendrick Lamar is big, but I mean,
sure.
Fall Out Boy and Kings of Leon and Panic at the Disco are not big anymore, as far as I'm aware.
No, Panic at the Disco had a resurgence like the end of last year. They had a big hit, but I don't know really much. I can't say that I'm hearing them on the radio. Mind you, I don't listen to the radio. I haven't listened to the radio in years. But that kind of stuff tends to seep into like telly advertisement and whatnot. And I'm not seeing them around there. I'm not seeing any kind of buzz going on about Panic at the Disco. I'm not seeing any buzz about Fall Out Boy, about Papa Roach. They are literally artists that I remember, not artists that I know now.
Yeah.
So
and that's the big concern, is like you say, and you know, when Mick was there, Thin Lizzy were there, you know, and around that time when Thin Lizzy was still gigging, they were in the charts and they were a big deal around that time.
Yeah.
As far as I can see, there's nobody that is a proper big deal. There's no, and all right, I don't follow the modern music scene, and the only big bands I know of these days are the likes of the Foo Fighters and the Arctic Monkeys and Muse, and you know, bands that are probably
international selling artists.
Started around that time, but they went far more international than the likes of Fall Out Boy or Panic at the Disco ever did.
Yeah, I think they had a light which burned very quickly and then fizzled out, whereas the Foo Fighters have just been kind of consistent since 2000-ish, haven't they? They've just kind of built on it and built on it and built on it. I'd argue that the Arctic Monkeys didn't really have a consistent thing. They burnt bright really quick with their first album, and then it kind of dipped off for a while. But they've had a little bit of a resurgence again, haven't they? But
I'll give you that. My personal opinion on the Arctic Monkeys is the first album is my favourite album that's ever been released since I was alive. So between 1991 and now, that first album is my personal favourite. I'm not saying it's the best album that's been released in that time. I'm saying to me, it spoke to me the most. Got family in Sheffield, so I had even more ties to it because it's you listen to the album, it's a story of, I think Alex Turner did a dissertation on nightlife in Sheffield, and then kind of used a lot of the poetry and a lot of things that he wrote to create the sort of the lyrics for that album.
Yeah.
That one speaks to me quite a lot. The Arctic Monkeys then kind of went downhill. The second album was good, but not as good. The third album was dreadful. The fourth album was Josh Homme dragging them out of the floor and made them a bit Queens of the Stone Age-y, which I quite liked. And then the fifth album kind of went global again.
Yeah. It is. They did have their first album was very kind of, it was like tales from the people, weren't it? Really,
it was. Yeah.
And even though I had absolutely no ties with that kind of scene or anyone around that kind of area, I felt that it felt really genuine, and it felt like a couple of lads who'd like beaten out a couple of tunes in their garage, and it had that kind of authenticity to it. But like I completely get it. But yeah, so I think the takeaway from this is we're probably too old to understand what they're aiming for.
And one of my favourite Simpsons quotes came out in the chat underneath this, which was
was it the Principal Skinner one?
No, the newspaper headline with Grandpa pointing at the sky, and it says "Old man yells at cloud."
Yeah. There's another one where it's Principal Skinner that says something like, "Maybe I'm out of touch with the youth of today." No, it's the kids. The kids are wrong.
Maybe I totally don't get it, and maybe this is going to be a massive sellout and the biggest Reading and Leeds festival ever. But to me, looking at that lineup, I kind of think it's going to kill Reading and Leeds, and I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I almost kind of think it's happening to a lot of the festivals these days. It's been a long time since I've been to a festival. Probably, in fact, I've still got the wristbands on. I can check. I think it was about 2011-ish. I kind of got put off because the prices kept going up and like life got in the way. Because it's quite an ask for your job to say, oh yeah, I need to have like Tuesday to the following Monday off. So it started becoming a bit of a difficult task to get to. But it was, if the headlines would have been like amazing, I would have found a way. If the pricing wouldn't have kept creeping up, I would have found a way. I think I was being put off. I was finding excuses, and the excuses were easy to find. So I've been out of the festival thing for a long time. There's never been anything that's really wanted to draw me back to it. I think by now I'm a bit too old anyway, because like the whole family, kids and whatnot has pulled me away from that. But there's nothing that's gonna draw me so strong that I'm gonna go back to it. So I mean, it might be that I'm just now having to pass the torch on to the next lot of festival goers, or it might be actually that festivals are not quite what they used to be, and that that fad is dying out. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll have to watch. Yeah, we'll look at the newspapers in about July, and it says like Reading Festival grossed the most it has done in decades, and we'll just sit there happily munching on our own words.
Yeah, I urge anybody, if this is a massive festival and it's in the newspapers for selling out early or anything, please let me know, and I will happily admit that I am wrong.
Yeah, sweet. Me too.
It's not,
Absolutely,
not something I ever do. I'm not to say I'll never admit that I'm wrong, but I'm very rarely, proven wrong.
Apart from
I was waiting for that.
Apart from
I was
that
waiting
one
for that
time
bit.
about that Thin Lizzy song, you know.
Which no. You manipulated.
I doctored it.
Yeah.
But on that wonderful bombshell of where I proved Matt wrong, we're going to call it a night for tonight because we are well past the hour mark. So this is a nice juicy podcast for you lot. It has been absolutely laden with technical gremlins, although you will never hear it because we are as chipper now as when we started it 4 hours ago. It's not quite that bad, but we've been through the wars tonight with it. It's been one of those casts.
It's close to 3.
Oh shit! Yeah. So yeah, if you want to find us on Tinterwebs, you go in the Fret Talk podcast group. It's on Facebook. You'll be able to find it. If I've not included it in the show notes, I will try. But yeah, just find us there. If you want to get your topics or any questions or just any kind of musings in general, go there. You'll be able to see like pictures of our guitars and stuff, and just generally share with some cool things. You get to talk to me and Matt directly. We hang out there. If you want to go find me, you go facebook.com/budgetpilltrap. You go instagram.com/budgetpilltrap. You go YouTube and type in Budget Pedal Chap, or go in the show notes. I'm in there. There's a link. Click. Subscribe to all of those things because my content is glorious and it is free. I think the most recent video that was up was about smacking your guitar like it owes you money, but getting great tone out of your guitar whilst doing it. There's going to be some more quick tips coming up. There is also a new series coming up on the YouTube, which I'm not going to spoil just yet, but it might be coming up on Friday. I can't remember my schedule, so it might be coming up Friday, it might be next Friday. Who knows? If you want to find Matt on the onlines, you go facebook.com/switchiom, where you will find his glorious band doing glorious things. You might even be able to see him playing the acoustic guitar and singing. I don't know if he's going to share that one.
I'm actually trying to get hold of GoPro. I kind of want to do the whole gig. The entire event is this half an hour acoustic set, and then we get to play on the only stage where if the acts from the UK come across, they can play inside on the Isle of Man. It's a 2,500 seater venue that when it's used for that kind of thing, it's the company's 50th anniversary, so they've got all their staff in. They're inviting friends and family along for basically a massive party. So they're having a sit-down meal, which is just for staff, and then inviting friends and family along afterwards. So all tables are cleared away, and they're going to turn the venue in. And I kind of want to either vlog it or at least be able to get hold of some footage of not just the acoustic bit beforehand, but the gig afterwards, because it's the best stage I've ever played on in my life.
Yeah. No, fingers crossed that you get that sorted, because that would be wicked. It's always nice having footage of your gig conquests, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've played the stage a couple of times now, and the last time we did it, the night before Status Quo were on there, so it was kind of like really surreal.
That is pretty cool. Quo, I've heard of those guys. I've heard of those guys. In fact,
they're one of them modern bands, isn't it?
Yeah, the modern. They're guys who play Telecasters. They're like my spirit animal.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is us for this week. No matter how much we try and still talk.
Sorry.
It's all good. I mean, this I'm going to let you into a secret here, Fret Talkers. Me and Matt, we actually like each other, so we tend to just chat anyway. But yeah, as for the cast, this is where it ends this week. So from your host, Budget Pedal Chap, from your another host, Mr. Matt Quine, it's going to be a good night, and Auf Wiedersehen, ta-da, from me.
Guten Tag.
That's like good something, isn't it? I don't know. Good day. Good day, okay. Guten Tag. Ta-da. Auf Wiedersehen. Das Vidania. Bye-bye.